Oh yeah, baby. Here we are, welcome in to our new moon in Leo, and it's kind of a hybrid new moon, peak of the Lion's Gate ceremony, and I'm so happy to see you. I see you, you see me. It's a big deal tonight, everybody. I've been waiting all day for this, like an impatient little kid. And if you have two, then we are here, and I am ready to begin. It is the peak of the Lion's Gate tonight, 8/8. I'll explain what that means in a minute, if you're new. It is the new moon in Leo today, and I have a birthday tomorrow. I was born just on the other side of the peak of the Lion's Gate, so technically I'm still in that peak window. So tomorrow I will be laying by the pool, hopefully with a nice cocktail and some hyper kids and animals with me. But I'm with you tonight, and I have to tell you, in a place on this planet I'd rather be than with you tonight. Seriously, on a night as special as this, when we have the new moon in Leo, when we have the peak of the Lion's Gate, I mean, that just doesn't happen very often. And thank you for the birthday wishes, that's really kind. Thank you, it's kind of like celebrating my birthday with you. I will tell you, I'm going to make a big, bold statement. You ready? I don't often make statements this big, but today kind of deserves it. I think this is the most important new moon of 2021. Not to say that you shouldn't do them every month, because you should, I mean, setting intentions is really important. But you guys feel it, right? Do you feel the energy of today and tonight? So here's what I'm going to say. I know it's a weird time on our planet. I know things are weird and everything's weird. Your thoughts, your intentions, your focus still matter. In fact, I would argue to you that they matter even more in the middle of this weirdness than they have ever mattered maybe in your life. I still think we are consciously co-creating what will become, what will be the next few years and decades. So I think tonight's really important. I'm super grateful that you're here. If you know someone who'd like to set intentions, ping them and say, hey, we're live over on YouTube, come on over, the party's just getting started. And I think today is very, very important. So I'm very glad that you're here. I thank you for taking this time. I always say this, I do this ceremony for you. I do it with you, right alongside you, in fact. I'm setting my intentions with you tonight. But I do this for you. I do it as a service. I have committed to my spirit guides. I will always do free new moon ritual. I will always do free full moon ritual, and I will always do free high holiday ceremonies, so that people around the world who have a computer can work some magic, because I think that's how we change the world. Anybody new? Anybody like never been to a new moon or new to Sage Goddess or anything like that? I always like to say hi. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel before you leave tonight, because we do a lot of fun things here on YouTube. And if you're not new, like me, I'm not new, I've been doing this with you for a decade. I'm very grateful to have you here. You picked a really flippin' awesome night to begin your journey with me, and I'm very grateful that you did. So cheers. Pam is with me. How's it going? I got Pam with me tonight, and Pamela. Look at all of my beautiful friends in the feed. It's really great to see you. And those of you who are new, Ellen, Dawn, Shannon, Yolanda's new, Chloe's new. I'm just trying to, the feed's gone kind of fast, but Erica's new, and Nusha's new. I just want to welcome you and say I really appreciate you taking the time to check this out and see what it's all about. This is how we roll. And new moon in Leo is a big deal. So I'm gonna spend just a couple minutes kind of teaching you, if that's okay, while I clear the energy, clear the air a little bit, and then we'll party. Tonight I'm teaching you palmistry. I'm going to teach you why your hands are magic. You probably knew that already, but your hands are magic. And so this is what we're doing tonight. I'm going to be teaching you some fun stuff. I'm going to be teaching you basic palmistry, okay, which is what are your fingers doing, okay? What are the 4 primary lines you need to pay attention to? Lifeline, fate line, headline, heart line. But I'm also going to be teaching you about a couple of other things, something called the quadrangle that sits between your heart and your headline. Never taught that to you before, but it's important. And then from Vedic astrology, we have something called the Luna Mound, which is on the bottom right of your left hand. So it's right here. So I'm going to have you examine this little part of your hand too. Take a peek stare at your hands tonight. especially if you haven't for the first time. I'm going to teach you what those lines are all about, and then you'll be able to take some of this wisdom and hopefully share it with people that you know. Each month at the new moon, I teach you a new divination technique. Next month, I'm teaching you scrying, which is really exciting, that I get to teach you that coming up in September, right before Samhain and the darker half of the year. And I'm excited to teach you all about that too. There's less than 100 kits for next month left, so if you do want one, I would scurry on over to sagegoddess.com. They were a really good value this month, so a lot of people shopped early. So Stephanie, you're 2 steps ahead of me, which I love because you're so smart. Hang with me. I'm going to get to that question in just a minute because you're asking the right question. And I'm going to tell you, ask away. I will do my best to answer any questions that you have. I'm going to tell you, you're going to find competing information about palmistry online. And do you know why that is? East and West, right? So palmistry originated from the Vedas, right, which are the oldest spiritual texts on the planet, coming from India. And then it gets evolved and co-opted, and different people do different things. And so I'm gonna try to teach you both ways of thinking about your hands tonight. But what most people agree on is that your right hand is the fixed story. By the way, take a deep breath while I do this, just to kind of receive it virtually. It's really important at the big, moon phases, new moon, full moon, to really clear out the energy. So I'm just passing that to you in case you don't have any. And it's good to take it over your tools. I like to take it behind me too. Energy gets stuck behind you. It really does. So just through the whole field. And white sage doesn't just clear energy, it sets energy. You might have heard from shamanism the phrase set and setting. Set is mindset, and setting is the state of the energy. And so your mind has to be right for ceremonial work, and your space has to be right. So part of it is not just clearing energy, it's also setting energy, getting your own mindset and your own space prepared for sacred work. Yeah, baby. Thank you for that, Tamara. Can you guys hear me okay? It says my microphone is super loud and clear, but Tamara was saying she can't hear me. Can I get some feedback from you guys? I'm happy to turn it up. I just don't want to yell at people. So, because what it's telling me is it's super loud and clear. But I can absolutely do my best to turn it up if the collective of you say, hey, I can't hear you. I appreciate the feedback, so just let me know. Okay. It looks like it's at full blast, so I'm just afraid if I turn it up just a little bit, I'm gonna yell. Okay, good, you can hear me, all right. If that changes, let me know. I'm happy to, you know me, I go with your flow. Go with your flow. Okay, we're good? All right, thank you. And Tamara, keep me posted. You might want to put your headphones in or turn up your volume personally. It might help you too. Okay, so traditionally, I'm gonna walk you through kind of the basics. You ready? Traditionally, and we're keeping it, I do want to tell you tonight, this is not going to be everything you ever need to know about palmistry. This is going to be like the high level kind of, because it's what we can do in the time that we have. Hopefully I'm going to kind of whet your appetite though, and then you'll get excited about this and you'll want to go and learn more and explore. Okay, so the right hand traditionally in palmistry is considered to be the hand you're dealt. Okay, this is how you were. But your left hand, a lot of palmists concur, shows your potential. What isn't finished or fixed yet? What could be is another way of looking at it. So what is with your right hand and what could be with your left hand. You'll notice that the hand that we gave you with your kit, right, is a left hand. And I will always tell you, look at both of your hands. Look at both of your hands. But traditionally we focus on the right because that's considered to be sort of a more accurate long-term permanent snapshot of your energy, okay? So let me dial it back all the way to tell you that hands are very important. And if you don't have the kit, don't worry, Adelie, you're still gonna be able to follow what I'm teaching you and you'll be able to look at your own hands. Okay, and then I'm gonna do a reading for you tonight, but it's gonna be a little unexpected. So I'm going to show you my little way of doing distance palmistry because, it's hard to kind of swap pictures of your hands for me to be able to read your hands. So I'm going to teach you kind of a trick that you can do using your pendulum to do palmistry readings for people. And those of you who do distance healing might really find this to be a cool technique. Yeah. Okay. Hands have always been sacred, right? You are completely unique. Your fingerprints are completely unique to you. right? And ever since the ancient times and the ancient texts, meaning has been assigned to the fingers. There are 5 elements in our universe, right? Earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. You have 5 fingers. Each one of those fingers in the Vedas is assigned an element. Okay, so traditionally, and you're gonna see a discrepancy between what I'm about to tell you and what's in the original Hindu texts. This is modern palmistry, and modern palmistry has deviated from the original Vedic palmistry. And so I don't want to confuse you too much, but there's a slight difference in the elements. So modern palmistry says your ring finger or your index finger is water, middle finger is earth, your ring finger is fire, and your pinky finger is air. Okay. The only way that the Hindu text conflicts with this is that the Hindu texts say this finger is spirit and the thumb is fire. Okay, so they just flip-flop this. Modern readers say the thumb is spirit and the ring finger is fire. The Hindus would have said that the ring finger is spirit and the thumb is fire. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? That's really the only primary difference that you're going to notice. But when we talk about mudras, which are taking 2 of your fingers and putting them together in prayer, we have to follow the Hindu texts because they were the ones who came up with this concept of the mudras, that when you connect your thumb, which is your fire element, to the other fingers, you are mixing fire with water, with spirit, with, earth, and so on. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to encourage you, you can go either way, and I'm going to tell you, you're not going to be wrong either way, because you're going to kind of pick the tradition and the timeline that works best for you and that makes the most sense to you. But when we talk about the mudras, we have to be accurate, because then we're going back and actually working with something from the ancient Hindu spiritual text, and we want to be accurate when we do that. We don't want to sort of do this weird, hodgepodge of East and West. That can get really confusing. I do have the wrong candle on my altar, and I'll tell you why. I can't find this month's candle. Whoops. It's been a busy month in my little world, and I'm human, and I lost it. And you know what? I care, and then I don't care. So I'm just going to ask you to pretend that is tonight's candle, because I'm just, it's my birthday weekend, and normally that would have kind of messed with me a little bit, but tonight I'm like, that's how we're doing it tonight. So yeah, so I will tell you one more time about the fingers. I totally screwed up and lost it. I felt really bad because Dave called Claire and went, well, shit, she doesn't have her candle, right? Anyway, it is what it is. I asked Zoe if she took it. She said no. You can be the judge of that. So anyway, that's how we roll. So one more time. Your thumb, according to the Eastern tradition, the Vedic tradition, is your fire element, not your ring finger. Your thumb is fire. Fire, fire, fire. Okay? And that means your index finger is water, your middle finger is earth, your ring finger is spirit, and your pinky finger is air. Nobody disputes the pinky finger, and nobody disputes the Jupiter finger. There's so much fun legend and lore about this, you guys. Like, I wish I had all night to hang out with you and just talk, because, like, have you heard the saying, kiss the ring? Monarchs used to have a ring on their index finger, and they would say, kiss the ring. That's their Jupiter finger, and their Jupiter finger was thought to convey good luck and good fortune. So it was actually considered to be a blessing when you would kiss the ring on the Jupiter finger of the monarch, because it was giving you a blessing or giving you good luck or good fortune. So it's really interesting. So when you choose adornment for your fingers, I want you to start thinking about this. What stones are you choosing for your Jupiter finger, right, which is your water element? This is about your feels, right? How you're feeling, the blessings that come, the blessings that go. This is also about attraction, prosperity, right? Your middle finger is your Saturn finger. Which is so funny, because that Saturn finger is the finger of discipline, right? And it's the finger of, like, strength, right? And so when we give someone the finger, we're actually giving them Saturn. And Saturn can be a little bit of a jerk planet sometimes, right? Like your Saturn return is that big, holy revisiting of all of the things you haven't finished or done correctly yet. The ring finger, of course, is your spirit element. That is Apollo. And then the pinky finger is your Mercury finger. That's your air element. And the so that, again, you have fire on your thumb, fire, 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 water, kiss the ring, right? Earth, spirit, and air. And you know, it's interesting too. I won't go too far into this tonight because we just don't have time. We have to set intentions. We have a lot of work to do in the next 45 minutes. But did you know in ancient times, the ring finger was called the, let me give you the exact right name. The ring finger was called the Vena Amora. This one, the ring that you, or the finger that you put your wedding ring on, because the Romans and Greeks believed that there was a vein here that went straight to your heart, and that when you wore a ring on this finger, that it connected right to your heart and kept you faithful. Now, that's not true, so I don't want to perpetuate that as a myth, but that's where the wedding rings come from, because the Greeks and Romans thought you had a vein here that connected right to your heart, and if you put a ring on it, would you like a little bit of ring on it? Then you were connecting right to the heart space, and that would keep people from cheating on each other. I'm not going to keep anybody from cheating on you. But I like it. It's a fun, interesting concept, and it teaches you a little bit about the history of sacred adornment, which I love. Okay, now, now I want to teach you about the lines. Okay, so those are the fingers. Now we're going to learn about the lines. Now, if you want to know briefly about mudras, and I'm going to ask you. Let me say this first. Do you know what your intention is for tonight's new moon? Remember, this is a new moon in Leo, so we want to set intentions about going big or going home. We want to set intentions tonight for confidence, expansion, abundance, courage, strength. I mean, think of what Leos are, right? They're unapologetically confident. They, go big or go home. They start the fire, right? They bring the power. They have all of those things, right? And I'm happy to repeat the planets to you, but let me zero in on this point, okay? Do you know what your intention is for tonight? Because I'm going to tell you what the fingers are one more time. I want you to come up with a mudra, a hand position, related to the element of your intention. So if you're like me and you're setting fire intentions tonight, right? Growth, expansion, courage, strength, fearlessness, all those things, because that's what I want in the next cycle, and that's what's most well aspected tonight, because this is all Leo energy, right? So what you have to do is remember what your fire finger is. It's your thumb, right? And then you want to go to the other elements: water, earth, spirit, and air. I want to set intentions tonight around fire, and then my second element is water, for abundance and prosperity. So that means when I meditate tonight, I'm going to put my thumb and my index finger together, fire, air. Let's say you're setting an intention to buy a home or to something earth related, right? You're buying land, you're buying a home, you're settling down, you're building a foundation, right? Then you're going to take your thumb, that's fire energy, and bring it to your middle finger. That's your Saturn, that's earth, right? So practice that. Let's say you're setting intentions to really fire up or develop your spirituality and your spiritual path, right? Connecting to your spirit guides, cultivating your faith. Maybe you felt a loss of faith, so you want to get that energy back. You're going to take your thumb and put it to your ring finger for spirit, okay? So if you're quitting smoking, that's going to be fire and air, because again, we're letting go of smoke and smoking and all of the energy of that. So then you're going to take your thumb to your pinky, which is your air element. Maybe your intention is to communicate better, or to open your mind, or develop a different perspective, or think differently, or maybe you're focused on education or a new kind of training, right? That would all be air. Health, I would say, is earth. Earth and fire. So let's go middle finger, okay? If it's all the above, do a little dance with your fingers while we're going through, right? But be mindful, fire to water, fire to earth, fire to spirit, fire to air, fire to water, fire to earth, fire to spirit, fire to air. And I'll tell you something, you can do this when you're driving. right? Somebody upsets you and you need to shift your emotional state. Fire to water, and you hold. And I like to count to 3. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. It'll shift everything. Or let's say you have a panic attack and you've got to get grounded fast. You're at work and shit's happening and you're like, what do I do? Fire to earth, right? To the middle finger, to Saturn. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, right? Career is going to be earth for me. Or if it's about money, then you're going to go with water, right? And isn't that interesting? So again, fire to water, fire to earth, fire to spirit, fire to air. And those are your mudras, okay? Is that helpful? Everybody got that? Okay, that's the most important thing I wanted to tell you in regards to your intention, because when I drum tonight, I'm going to ask you to hold your mudra if you're not drumming with me, and I just want you to hold it, okay? Success, if it's financial success, is going to be water. If success is like an achievement, like getting a degree or signing a deal or something like that, let's go earth, fire to earth, okay? Does that make sense? Love is going to be water because that's emotions, right? Fire to water. Or if you're trying to believe in love again, fire to spirit. Okay? All right, cool. Now, let's talk about the lines real quick. Come to me, darling. You have a heart line at the top of your hand, right? There's my heart line. Do you see it? Do you see it? You have a headline. Now your heart line is very important. That's about your emotional healing. And in fact, when you want to create emotional healing, you need to sit and work on that line. Anoint it with oils. That's what I created Palma for. So if you're working on emotional healing tonight and that's your intention, you need to anoint with your oil on the line. And you can use your fire finger to navigate it, to massage it, to activate it. The next line down is your headline. That's your mental health and mental healing. So again, if you're doing healing there, you'll want to anoint with your oils. You can use your fire finger to activate it under this fire new moon. Then you have your fate line running down the center. On my fate line, you can actually see Sage Goddess. It's actually very interesting. There's it doesn't stop in the middle, but there's a little bit of a break. And this was ages 35 to 40, and that's when I was diagnosed with MS and switched careers from what I've always been doing to the start of Sage Goddess. Isn't that interesting? So you can actually see it on my hand. So this is the fate line. Again, this is going to be your manifestation line, what you actually do and create. And then your lifeline is your health, your physical health line. So again, if you're doing manifestation, you'll want to work that fate line. If you're doing health, you're going to want to work that lifeline. Does that make sense? You can do, yeah, if you missed the beginning of this, I spent a little bit of time talking about left versus right hand. Let me just briefly say one more time. I think you should look at both. It's believed that your right hand is the hand you're dealt permanently, and your left hand is your potential. So when you're doing healing, sometimes you need to work on your left hand because the left hand is the evolution. Does that make sense? So I want you to look at both. is ultimately my answer to you. I want you to look at both, but you can consider the right hand kind of the static picture of your development over time, and the left hand being your potential and your possibility. Yeah. Why do you reach elements on hands differently from Ayurveda? Actually, Stella, what I'm teaching you tonight is from the Vedas. I am teaching you actually more of the traditional Vedic palmistry as opposed to Western palmistry. So yeah, so there may be a difference between what I'm sharing you from palmistry and Ayurveda. There might be a slight difference, but I am focusing primarily tonight on the Vedic associations for the mudras. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, now the last thing I want to show you, and this is, I think, very interesting. I'll use my right hand to show you. On the left side of your fate line, so again, here's my fate line going up the center. On the left side of your fate line, that's your inner world. And on the right side of your fate line, that's your outer world. And so one of the things you can do, and again, you can do this for your left hand or your right hand, is take your pendulum. I love working with my pendulum. And you can use this as a test of how balanced are you. Your inner world is your yin energy, your feminine energy, and your outer world is your yang energy. It's your masculine energy. So one of the things I want you to do tonight, if you have a pendulum or a necklace that you can work with as a dowsing tool, most of you have a necklace or a pendulum, is I want you to hold it over your fate line and ask the question, is my inner world in balance with my outer world? And let's look at, is the inner world in balance? For me, it says yes. And then bring it back to the fate line. Is the outer world, my hand is so hot right now, is my outer world in balance? It says no, do you see that? Let's test it one more time. Is my inner world in balance? So what's going on with me psychically, energetically, that's in balance? Is my outer world in balance? Well, you can immediately see it shift. Do you see it? And that is true. I have people in my life who are like just doing so many odd things, and I feel like my spiritual life is in balance, but like my kids are getting ready to go back to school and I'm nervous about that. You know what I mean? My outer world isn't in balance right now. Is this interesting to you to see? So I want you to run that exercise really quickly, and then if something is out of balance, I'd like you to add an intention onto your list tonight to balance that energy. So tonight I'm going to set the intention in addition to everything else. And by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if most of you had outer world imbalanced, because our whole outer world is imbalanced right now. If both are imbalanced, like Sharon Gissel, then she's got nothing to do here. She's just going to set her regular intentions. But if one of them is out of balance, I want you to take a look at that. The other thing I want you to look at really quickly, and this I want you to look at on your left hand, okay? This is my left hand. This bottom right quadrant down here is called the Luna Mound, okay? And the goal there is to have as few lines as possible in Vedic palmistry, okay? So down here, left hand, bottom right, your goal is to have as few lines as possible. If you have 2 or more lines, then that mound is considered to be underdeveloped, meaning you need to tap more into your creativity. You're not totally pulsed on your creativity. If you have, am I giving you this the right way? If you have no lines, you're balanced. If you have strong lines, you're underdeveloped. And if you have weak lines, you're overdeveloped. Yes. So if you have super strong lines, it means you need more creativity. If you have very fine lines, it means you need to have more focus and more structure. You're too much in the sort of creative right brain, and you need to bring it more to the left brain. Interesting, right? So this gives you a sense of how's your creativity, how's your balance, what's the balance like between inner, outer, masculine, feminine, and then do you need to set an intention? So if you have lots of lines there, they also say it's related to fear, that you need to reduce fear and increase creativity, because that means that basically your Shakti is underdeveloped if you have that activity there. Interesting, right? The other thing you can do, by the way, if you want to, and this is what I was going to show you, this is what I do for people when I'm doing readings for them, is you can actually take this hand, okay, and you can use your pendulum and you can ask, so I'm asking for myself right now, does the heart line need my attention? Yes. Does the headline need my attention? No. Does the fate line need my attention? No. Does the lifeline need my attention? No. And then again, test it. Does the heart line need my attention? You see how it switched? And so I'm going to spend a few minutes, once we've set our intentions, doing a couple of those readings for you. And then what I want you to look at is, How strong is your line? Is there an interruption in your line? And I want you to, if I call out one of your lines, I want you to sit and massage. And you can choose to massage on your left hand or massage on your right hand, whichever one feels better for you. And I want you to use your fire finger tonight to do that work. And I want you to focus on healing, because again, each one of those is mind, mental healing, right? Physical healing, emotional healing, or manifestation. So that's going to give you a quick, interesting hit to tell you where you need to focus. Is that helpful? In fact, why don't we do that first before we set intentions, because that may actually help to guide you guys. I think that is the way for us to go. Here we go. So I'm going to take my perfume, my Palma perfume. I hope you enjoyed Palma. I think Palma is such a great, there's so many oils in here for healing. There's basil for prosperity. There's myrrh for grounding you and connecting you to your spirit guides. There's patchouli for wealth and abundance. There's rhododendron, which is actually from Nepal, from the Himalayan mountains. We imported this rhododendron. And rhododendron is a fascinating oil. It opens the third eye. It helps you to visualize. And it creates new neural pathways in your brain. It actually makes you smarter, but it also activates your more subtle senses. So that's why I want you to use this oil directly on your lines. I have Palma on its own at sagegoddess.com too. So if you're like, oh, I wish I would have gotten that, I do have it. Just a few bottles of it left if you'd like one. Don't leave right now. Like later you can go and get one if you'd like it. Okay, so put a little bit of Palma at your wrist for what you do, a little bit at your third eye for what you know. Get your little feeders up there and a little bit at your ankles for where you go. And massage. When you put oils on all of those locations, you cross all of the key lines or prana lines, destiny lines. All of the energy lines in your body get covered with that particular blend. And this one is for healing and wealth and abundance and vision and clarity and giftedness as a healer, right? So, or if you're not using that oil, whatever oil you are working with, do the same thing so that you've covered all of the lines. And I'm just going to briefly light my candle. And yes, I'm burning next month's candle, but that's what I got for tonight, honey. We rock and we roll. And I gave you 2 crystals in your kit this month. I gave you Ulexite, which is also known as TV stone. You can actually look through Ulexite and read the body. A lot of people work with Ulexite like that. And then I gave you black kyanite, because black kyanite instantly clears anything it touches. So what I recommend is, if you were imbalanced on the left or on the right, depending on which part of mine was my outer world, and your outer world is represented, remember that's the more masculine side of your body, so that's going to be your right hand. So what I'm going to do is put my clearing stone in my right hand, and I'm going to put my visioning stone in my left. If you were the opposite of me, you'll want to do the opposite position for your stones. Okay, now we've anointed. I'm going to open our circle. And again, thank you so much for being here tonight, you guys. I really appreciate it. And I think it's so important. The intentions you set tonight are going to reverberate through your path and your process for, I believe, months to come, maybe even a year to come. We don't get a new moon in Leo at Lionsgate very often, so. Other visioning stones, azurite, lapis, iolite. Those are perfect. So at this new moon, we want to call in and welcome and thank the guides and the guardians, the 4 sacred directions plus spirit. So we're welcoming in the guides and the guardians of the East. Thank you for opening this doorway, this portal with us tonight. Welcoming in the energy of this beautiful new moon to give us new perspective, to give us clarity. It's a new beginning, it's a new cycle. We release what doesn't serve us. We open ourselves to what can, what will. To the guides and the guardians of the South, guardians of the fire gateway, we greet you at this fire new moon. For power, for possibility, transformation, we're ready to make it happen. Welcoming in guides and the guardians of the West, water gateway. Welcoming you for our emotional healing, teaching us to surrender and let go, allowing, receiving too. The West is the direction of abundance and prosperity. I love it when you drum with me. I really do. Thank you for being there and holding the space. Let's welcome in the guides and the guardians of the North. Earth gateway to help us stay grounded, practicing presence and patience and peace. We do a lot of adulting in the North. That helps us get through these difficult times. Standing with grandfather in the North, remembering that everything will be okay. I believe that to be true. And last but not least, welcoming in the guides and the guardians of the spirit gateway, spirit, ether, source, the force that animates life, and gave you breath, decides the comings and the goings, right? We thank you, guides and guardians of the spirit realm, helping us believe in magic during difficult times. Blessings from the east and the south and the west and the north and above. It's a full moon in Leo. I just want to take my clothes off and dance around a fire. Don't worry, I'm not going to do that while we're alive together. But then that does cross my mind every once in a while. Cheers. And welcome to the guides and guardians. Yeah, use your leg. You don't do that? When you don't have a drum, get it on your booty. Come on now. You're creative beings. I don't need a drum. I'm always like, I got a behind and a thigh. I have enough like junk in my trunk to get a good sound going too. I trust you can do this. Okay, so let's come over here. I can't not drum. You know, if somebody is drumming, like that's just going to be happening for me right now. Get your belly going. Come on. We know how to party around here. Okay, so who can I read for? Can I read, and then we'll set intentions. I'd like to read for 2 or 3 of you, and then I'll do a collective read. Who would like a reading? Who would like a reading? I'm so excited, yay. Okay, Christine Rogers said, yeah, baby. Okay, Christine. So, Christine's heart line. Is that imbalanced? Does she need to pay attention to her heart line? Yes, you do. And does Christine need to pay attention to her headline? Remember, your headline is your mental healing. No, it says you do not. And for Christine, what about her fate line? Does she need to pay attention to her fate line? Yes, you do. And for Christine, does she need to pay attention to her lifeline? No. So your lifeline, your health looks good, your mental health looks good. You need to pay attention to love and manifestation. Does that resonate with you? Isn't that fun? And now look, it goes back to the circle. Okay. Jennifer Tarian. Hi, Jennifer. Let's go, baby. She gave me all those cutie pie lion emojis. So for Jennifer Tarian, does she need to pay attention to her heart line? Does her heart need healing? Yes. And for Jennifer Tarian, does her headline, does she need to pay attention to her headline for mental healing? That's a yes. And for Jennifer Tarian, does she need to pay attention to her fate line? Not as much. And how's her physical health? Does Jennifer need to pay attention to her lifeline, physical health? No. So you need emotional healing and mental healing. And see how it goes back to the circle? Okay. Let's see. Angelina Rodriguez. Hello. Angelina. Pendulum's like, yes, read for Angelina. What's going on, Angelina? How's Angelina's heartline? Emotional healing. Does she need to pay attention to her heartline? Yes, you do. And Angelina Rodriguez, how's her headline? Mental healing. Does she? No, not as much. And Angelina's fate line, manifestation. Does she need to pay attention to the fate line for manifestation? Not as much. And what about her lifeline for physical healing for Angelina? It says yes. So you need heart healing and physical healing, Angelina Rodriguez. Thank you for letting me read for you. That's so great. Cynthia Gutierrez. Let's see what's going on with Cynthia. Pendulum's like, yeah, baby. Cynthia's heartline, Spirit. Cynthia Gutierrez's heartline for emotional healing, love healing, yes. Okay, and Cynthia Gutierrez for headline, mental healing. Again, doesn't mean you don't need it, but it's not a focus right now at this new moon. Okay, that's a no for Cynthia G. Fate line for manifestation. That's a yes for Cynthia G. And then lifeline for physical healing for Cynthia G. That's also a yes. So emotional healing, mental healing, physical healing is all yes. Again, fate line for manifestation tonight. Not as much of a focus. So what that means is your intentions need to be related to these. Is this helpful? It's kind of fun, right? Are you doing it too? Have you run your own? Okay, let me do another one here. Rochelle Farver. Heartline, emotional healing. Rochelle, it's a yes. And headline, mental healing for Rochelle Farver. That's a yes. Okay, so for Rochelle Farver, it already knows where I'm going. The fate line for manifestation, does she need to focus there? No. And so for Rochelle Farver, the lifeline for physical healing. It went yes again. It's Kaisha's birthday today. All right, Kaisha is going to do a birthday reading. Then I'll do a collective reading for all of us here. Okay, for Kaisha on her birthday today, an 88th birthday is such a big deal. Kaisha's heartline, emotional healing. Yes. You need to focus on emotional healing. Do you see the pendulum? And so Kaisha, mental healing, the headline. No, not as much of a focus for you. And then the fate line for manifestation. It's a yes. So you need to focus on manifestation and your heart healing. And then for Kaisha, physical healing, the lifeline. Not as much a focus on physical healing. So heart line and fate line for manifestation. Okay, you ready? Now this is for all of us. This is for all of you, and those of you whose partners are also wanting readings. You're all in the soup here, so I'm holding you all. Okay, collectively, heartline for emotional healing. I expected that. We all kind of need emotional healing right now. It's been a really weird 2 years. Okay, headline, mental healing for the collective. You see this, right? It's like, yeah. Might be all four for all of us, you know? Because we're all in this soup. Fate line for manifestation. Do we all collectively need to focus here? Yes. Look at that. It's like, yeah. Well, maybe it's everything, you guys. I mean, and then lifeline for physical healing. Is that where the collective needs to focus? And again, that's a yes. I want to do one more experiment, and then we'll set our intentions and drum them up. It's interesting, right? Okay, our inner world, collectively, is our inner world in balance as a collective? Remember, I'm going to the left of the fate line. Okay, so yes, we're in balance there, back to the fate line. Is the collective's outer world in balance? No. So what was coming up for me seems to be coming up for the collective. Interesting, right? We have all the needs and we're out of balance in terms of our outer world, or what I call the yang energy, right? More of the masculine principle needs to be brought into balance. Yeah, me neither, Ruth. I'm kind of with you. I'm not surprised by it, but it gives us a data point, right? So we know where to focus our intentions for this evening. Okay, so having done that, I want you to take your crystals in the hands that make sense to hold. I would also like you to activate a mudra for this part of our work together tonight. So again, if your intention is associated with fire, which it should be tonight, you got a fire new moon, then I want you to decide what other element you want to activate. I'm doing fire and water, which you can also do fire and earth, fire and spirit, fire and air. Okay, so choose your mudra, hold your stones. So this is what mine looks like. So I've got my thumbs and my index fingers together and I'm holding my crystals. I'm going to be drumming, but I want you to do this part. So the most important thing you do at every new moon, and it's the reason why, like, I'm even with you, Team SG is with you on a Sunday night, okay? It's this important to me that I'm with you in this window, because this is like a turbo boost for your dreams. Tonight, setting intentions right here, right now, in a circle with 1,500 people from around the world raising the same frequency with us live. I want you to close your eyes right now, and I want you to focus as clearly and as specifically and as intentionally as you can on what you want to create in the next lunar cycle, so the next 28 days. And I want you to focus all of your energy and your focus and your attention and your desire and your vision on exactly what that is. And take a nice deep breath there. And I want you to now take it one step further. I want you to imagine that you already have that thing, feel that thing, enjoy that thing, that you've already received that thing, or that whatever it is. I mean, it could be health, it could be money, it could be, you know, a new home, it could be, you know, love, it could be companionship, it could just be joy and peace, which is always part of my intention process too, right? Yeah, and Wendy, you can do different mudras, darling. I actually love that idea, right? So if you want to do a fire mudra on this hand and you want to do an air mudra on this hand, I'm super down with that, right? So Jackie Halla is doing health and wealth and healing, prosperity, abundance, learning, knowledge, peace, and understanding. Give it to me, give it to me. All the above, this or something better. Right? This or something better. Bring it to me. If your hands are hurting, just kind of like release the pressure a little bit. This doesn't have to be like super hard, you know what I mean? Like it can just be a very gentle, and you can keep your hands on your knees so you have extra support so your shoulders don't start to hurt, right? And Allison, I want you to use your intuition for your stones. So whichever hands feel the best to you for this work, that's where I want you to place your crystals. Yeah. I love it when you guys ask questions because everybody learns. You know what I mean? So always ask your questions. I do my best to get to as many of them as I can. Sometimes it's hard to do a ritual and still be able to read the feed, but I do my best. Okay, so one more time, let's put laser beams right on what it is that you are dialing in. As I want you to align your frequency to it. So feel that health, feel that joy, feel that wealth, feel that relief from anxiety, feel that peace, feel that flow, feel that comfort in your body. Feel that surrender, feel that allowing, right? Softening. And just let yourself, be embedded in that for just a minute. It's really important for your body to have a somatic experience, for your body to know what it feels like to rest in this kind of power and possibility, right? Okay. Great Spirit, Spirit Guides, see us tonight under the most important new moon of this year. Truly. See each person in this feed as they're claiming what they seek. And you know how I coach you, how I train you, right? Whether you write it down, so glad you're here. Whether you write it down or say it out loud or type it in the feed or all of the above, it needs to be as if it's already here. I claim, I welcome, I enjoy, I have. Not I would like or I want. That's future tense, right? That's pushing, kicking the can down the road. That doesn't tell the universe you're ready. I claim, I receive, I allow. No, thank you, sweet Michael. And August Flower and I share a birthday tomorrow. Beautiful. I receive, I claim, I allow. I claim, I receive, I allow. I am worthy. I am ready. Let's open the door big and wide tonight. Let's go full Leo. This isn't a new moon in Virgo. I'm not going to be shy. I claim abundance. I claim health and healing and an absolute relief from anxiety. I claim peace. I claim a trust and an assurance from my source creator that I'm here on this planet at this time with exactly the gifts and skills I need to navigate this time with grace. I claim rest at night, peaceful sleep, dreams that are instructive, inspiring. I claim good, strong, solid friendships and relationships. I claim a network of support and beauty in my life that nourishes and rewards and inspires me. I claim my purpose. I'm here to go big or go home. I'm not here to be shy or be quiet. I'm here to show up. I'm here to support. I'm also here to be supported. I receive that support with gratitude. I claim expansion. I claim getting bigger in all ways, energetically in particular. I claim hearing the sound of my voice. I claim truth, wisdom, discernment, clarity. Come on now. Get it. I claim success. I'm saying it with you. I claim peace. I claim love. I claim joy. I welcome joy. I like that, Kim. Cheryl's claiming her new home. Roberto's claiming a twin flame. Yeah, baby. You claim what you deserve. I love that. I love it. I claim strength. Yeah, baby. Let's get it. Great Spirit, Spirit Guides, light keepers from all directions and dimensions. I welcome you into this circle tonight. Stand with us, alongside us, holding our hands as we take a big, deep breath. Knowing that we can't go back, we must move forward in a good way. And I claim all of this tonight, not just for myself. I claim it for you. I claim it for the collective. Like I always say, what good is one person's abundance if everyone else is lacking, right? This is a much more fun place to live when we're all doing well, right? I want you to have it too. So I also claim your health and your healing and your joy and all the things that you desire. Stand with you in faith. Now vision it getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Your health magnified, your abundance magnified, your power magnified, your strength magnified, your love magnified, your peace magnified. Right? Bigger, 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 bigger. Make it roar, make it laugh, make it breathe, give it life. Let's send all these intentions and prayers on eagle's wings, angel's wings. Spirit, take these desires, these intentions tonight from us. We leave the how it happens up to you. We give you the what and we ask for the how with gratitude. And then we wait in faith. We anticipate. perfect time, full alignment with our purpose and the health and happiness of all who are here at this time. And together we say, Amen. Aho. And so it is. The Leo new moon just makes me all feline. To you. To you, and cheers. May it be so. It's also nice to kind of bookend that kind of sending of the intentions by saying, it is done. It is done. It is done, and now it's out of my hands, and it's in yours. And I so trust Spirit. I didn't always, but I'm old enough now, I'm turning 48 tomorrow, where I can see the hand of God or Source or whatever you call it. I can see that hand. And even in the times where I thought, where'd you go, God? It's like, it was right there. It just took a minute, you know? Oh. I'm glad you were drumming with me. It's so good. So these crystals are now really blessed and charged, again, for vision and clearing. So anytime you do readings, if you're a reader, even if you're an oracle card reader or a medium or whatever, keep these crystals with you as part of your collection of stones that you work with when you do readings, right? They will be helpful allies to you in your sacred work and your process. I believe that. You are so welcome, you guys. Is it International Cat Day today? How did I not know that? I feel like in my life every day is International Cat Day. Aw, Dina Harmon's daughter turned 48 today. It's a good year. It's an Empress year for me. I'm not pregnant and I cannot physically become pregnant anymore, but and I'm pretty excited about that. It's actually really great. But for me, Empress energy, because it's I'm turning 48, which is 12. 1 + 2 is 3, so it's a 3 year for me, and that's all about being pregnant with possibility. So, and also kind of creating deeper comfort and beauty around me. So I'm excited for that. That sounds really good. Pregnant with something other than babies. I'm all done with that. I made 2 good ones, and I'm good. So let's release those guides and guardians. They've been keeping the space with us tonight with so much gratitude. We're going to release in the opposite order that we invited them. So we release first the guides and the guardians of the spirit element for coming through and making magic happen, sprinkling the little fairy dust onto our intentions and dreams and visions for tonight. We release you with gratitude. And releasing the guides and the guardians of the earth element, thanking them again for patience, presence, peace, protection. Always feels good in the north. Slow it down in the north. It's always important for me because I'm all fires. I don't know how to slow down. So we're always thankful for that northern influence in our circle. I'm releasing you with love. To the guides and the guardians of the west, thank you for helping us surrender. Remember, this is the only night of the month when you can really release too. At the new moon we release. We don't release at the full moon. So anything else that needs to be released, release it now. Fear, anxiety, sadness, grief, regret, let's just release that to you, guardians of the west, before we bid you farewell this evening. Thank you for holding what is too heavy for us in the west, and we release you with gratitude. The guides and guardians of the south, thank you under this fiery new moon for the ability to transform, become something better and brighter than we were yesterday. And we release you with gratitude. And to the guides and the guardians of the east, thank you for showing us a new way, new possibilities, for putting a new dream on our hearts, and for giving us the chance to connect to each other across space and time to bring those dreams into being. We release you with gratitude. is already my birthday in Australia. Thank you, Kaz. It's going to be a very boring birthday tomorrow because COVID's not good here in LA. So we're going to be super chill, hanging around the house, doing a little barbecue, and probably might go to a nice nursery, which is my favorite thing because I like to garden and plant. I usually try to plant something new on my birthday, so we'll see if that happens tomorrow. But thank you for your sweet wishes. It was really sweet to have you here tonight. Okay, so the last bit of business, I'm going to blow out my candle. It's stubborn, it doesn't want to be released. The last bit of business tonight, you may have noticed this on my altar. This is a Lemurian citrine crystal with green and black tourmaline that has been on my prosperity altar for about 2.5 months. It's been on my altar tonight. It's been with me all the way through the Lion's Gate. And it's worth $1,100. Citrine is the wealth and abundance stone. And that is a big mama citrine. So if you have not already gotten your tools for next month's new moon ceremony, I am teaching you scrying. And you are getting a big obsidian sphere from Mexico, a Merlinite sphere stand, your third eye mat, and mystic perfume, which has a brand new oil from France that I had not used before that's really important also for psychic visions and in particular clairvoyance, which is the skill that we need and cultivate when we're doing scrying. There were less than 100 kits left. We've got 1,400 of you live now. There were less than 100 kits left when I started. So if you would like this, head over to sagegoddess.com. The sphere is worth $50 and the stand is worth $10, so this is worth $60. Your whole kit after your discount is like $55. So you basically get the perfume and the candle and the charm and the mat for free. And you enter to win the citrine. So head over to sagegoddess.com. I also want to tell you, especially if you're new and even if you're not buying anything, I don't have enough kits for everybody anyway. Go to sagegoddess.com and download the worksheets. We make these new moon and full moon worksheets for you at every new moon and every full moon. And they have journal questions. They're super fun. And this is where I recommend writing down your visions and your intentions each month. And then what I do is I 3-ring punch these and I keep them in a notebook. And at the end of the year, I go back through and read them. And it's kind of cool to read like what you were thinking in May and June and July and August when you get to December, you know? So go and get your worksheets. Those are free. If you are shopping, you're going to get a free little glass bebop today as our gift. It's a birthday gift. It's my birthday, but you get a gift. And that's your code for 21% off, party21 at sagegoddess.com. That's all I have for you tonight. So I won't be with you live tomorrow, but yeah, it'll be just a quiet day around here. I will be back with you on Tuesday for our live gem sale here on YouTube from 3 to 6:30 p.m. Dave and I always do that on Tuesdays. Wednesday is Crystal Masters, which is my online class in crystal healing. And so if you aren't in Crystal Masters, you can join us. We would love to have you in class on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm teaching the Navaratna, which are the 9 stones from Vedic astrology. So we're kind of continuing this Vedic conversation this week. And so that's going to be a lot of fun too. So I get to see you again on Tuesday and I get to see you again on Wednesday. So I'm really looking forward to that. In the meantime, have a great Monday, you guys. And thank you again for celebrating the earliest part of my birthday with me, the peak of the Lion's Gate, and also this new moon. Please take a few more minutes tonight to either physically write your intentions. I'm a big believer in handwriting, or to type them, but please like write them down or say them out loud. It's really important. Your words are powerful. And in this era of like emailing and typing and texting, we have lost track of words and how, I mean, your handwriting is unique to you for a reason. You're supposed to be using your handwriting. So go old school for me. It really does make a difference. I've been working manifestation magic for a long time. The ones that I write down are the ones that happen. So if you want to take a tip from me, that's probably my best tip for you. And I love you. I'm so grateful that you're in our community. It's been wonderful to be with you tonight. I will see you on Tuesday. Have a great evening. Team SG, I couldn't be more grateful to you, especially when you're with me live on a Sunday for New Moon. I know it's your weekend. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support and for helping everybody in the feed. We really appreciate it. It takes a village to bring these ceremonies to you, and they are such a treasure in my life. Very grateful to them. All right, cheers, you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. I will see you very soon. Take good care in the meantime.